Hey guys, it's Brian from Weird World 2. Give me a second here. I am posting a couple things so people can see that I'm about to do this craziness. Just bear with. Let's see here. Swing over to the Discord. See what they're up to. And the Twitter X. Tell folks I'll just go to Discord. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. That'll work. Justin, what's up, dude? What's going on up in the Great White North? Thought I'd so I don't know if you saw Shadow's call out to all the minions to do some shit, do some painting, get in and do some hobbying. And he's right, man. He's right. Sometimes we get caught up in the peripheral shit. We forget about the mainstay, which is the hobby, the gaming. I'm a gamer before a hobbyist. So I figure I keep working on these damn Chinese I've been working on. Also need to paint up a Native American. This is from Achtung Cthulhu. It's like we call them Pathfinders. They're like so interesting story. So in the story of Achtung Cthulhu, they Majestic, which is like the American kind of weird war official like military organization or government organization or whatever. They've got various kind of troop types or whatever, special troops or whatever. Well, one of them are these Native Americans, and so I'm doing a little research on because I'm writing up rules for them for my game, and I like to if I'm gonna convert some rules to from another game, I like to kind of stick with them, so I kind of give them like an homage as I steal their shit and make it my own. Yeah, Majestic 12, yeah. But anyway, so so I'm doing some research, and the tribe they took was the Tequitnik. Shit, I can't remember. I can't remember what they were called. But they're south, northwest, like Pacific Indian tribe or Native Americans, whatever. That hug the coast of Alaska, Canada, and up in like Washington State. So I shot an email to them, like asking them, like of all the tribes in North America that could be part of the American. This is like the American aspect. Why would you pick the Tingquit? I think it's Tinquit tribe, right? And I guess the writer came back and he just said, "Oh, I just picked that. No, not any specific reason, just because I basically he had heard of them and they got some history, right?" And I did a bunch of research, on them, and I guess they're one of the more warring tribes of the Northwest Native Americans, and I guess in Canada they call them what original tribes or First Nations or something like that. I can't remember what the term that the Canadians use. I think it's called First Nation. Anyway, but I did a bunch of research on them and stuff, and I guess they're pretty aggressive tribe or nation or whatever they call them. And I was reading about all their like history, but I don't really see like I don't really see them as demon hunters or anything specific. I mean, they have shamans that would, cast out witches and, heal people and kind of be prophetic and stuff. But I didn't see any like specific like indication that these guys would be exceptional demon hunters. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? In my game, so I did a bunch of research today. That's what I've been doing all day. I've been looking at native, like the top 12 most like aggressive Native American tribes in North America. And I got a big list and whatever. And I was doing a bunch of research on, like, the Cherokee and the Sioux and the Blackfeet and the Apache and the Comanche and all that. I'm thinking about in this troop type, instead of this troop type just being that one, originating from that one tribe, I'm thinking about making them like they're kind of a catch-all term for all of the Native American soldiers in the Pathfinder Demon Hunter unit. And what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about having close sniffer. Come on, be nice, Justin. Come on now. Just weird war. But they Blackfoot. Did I say Blackfeet? Blackfoot. But I was thinking about like having like, they all have a generic kind of a stat line, and kind of like ambush and maybe infiltration would be like, their common thing. They would be they're not as susceptible to like mythos creatures, because they they kind of grew up in like a culture that had, ghosts and demons and monsters and shit, and they've been taught how to fight such creatures. So their fortitude, whatever. So they're exceptional monster hunters. They're like, stealthy ambush guys. But then I wanted to like maybe have each tribe have like a couple specific traits that would, make them different than the other tribes. So like, like these guys, the Tiquint or whatever they're called, they would be like amphibious because they lived on like the waters, right? So they'd be like water, proficient. Maybe they're able to do like assaults, like with assault boats or assault canoes. Maybe like the Brits had those assault canoes. Maybe they can have like assault canoes, and they have that. That's kind of like a special strategy of them or whatever. And so I was thinking something like that. So it would give more representation to, I think, the Native American. I think an aspect of Weird World War II for the Native Americans is fantastic, because you have that vibrant, just varying vibrant cultures within, America and Canada that could be used as, special troops that have special knowledge due to their their ancient heritages and shit. And I think it'd just be a cool aspect of adding something different and something fresh to the Weird World War II genre. But anyway, so like I was saying, I was talking to the guy, and then he said, he basically said, I just kind of picked him or whatever. But then he said and this kind of threw me off, and it made me realize that we're in a PC fucking world. He said something like, I didn't what was it? Cultural appropriation or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude. I'm just like, he said that phrase, and I wrote him back. I said, dude, I don't see you like, he said that phrase, and I wrote him back. I said, dude, I don't see you like culturally appropriating anything. You're just talking about a Native American tribe that's in a fictional fucking, World War II setting. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? It was just so strange that was meant to be clear in his response. And I'm curious if that was like some sort of like, company, they're like, oh shit, let's throw this out here. So I'm just like, I seriously doubt that some Native Americans are pissed off that, they're using their tribe in a fucking fictitious role-playing, in the environment. It's just so strange. It was just a strange, like people walking on eggshells about every fucking little thing. Jesus, it's fucking, I mean, why even do a historical, like, combat or any kind of historical game, because you're going to be stepping on political toes no matter what. So it's just like, fuck, don't worry about it, just fucking do it. Let's see. God. Can you put the name of this game in this chat? Yeah, you can put Zactoon Cthulhu. Yeah. Yeah, so that was it. Cultural appropriate. I mean, I've never even fucking heard that phrase before, to be honest with you. But I mean, at the minute he wrote it, I'm like, okay, I knew what it would mean. Like, you're stealing their heritage and making it your own and to besmirch. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I mean, he may have not have done that on purpose. Maybe that's just how he speaks and how he thinks and whatever. And I'm just like, man. And to be fair, I have to say that in their rule books, they always have this like little disclaimer about like historical references, like the horrors of war and we're taking a fictional route, and I'm just like, is that even necessary? Seriously? I mean, do you think like a fragile individual, worrying about like political, I don't fucking know, would even pick up a weird World War II historical like role playing game? I just don't even think that's would even be in peripheral for people like that. But I don't know. Oh, you want me to do it? Oh, okay. There you go. That's what it's called. But I love the system. I mean, I think it's cool. It has a lot of cool ideas and stuff. I like the variation of like belligerents and their armies and their cultures, and because I mean World War II was a world war and almost every country on the planet was involved, and shit in my Weird War II they will be. I mean, I'm gonna be fighting down in South America. We're gonna be throwing down, and Mexico is gonna be pulled into the war eventually. Um, Spain's going to have to commit one way or the other too in my timeline. So it's going to be a true world war, weird world war, because everybody's going to be in the fray, and it's going to be a goddamn clusterfuck. So it should be a lot of fun. Man-made hot springs. Hell yeah. I need to go get my glasses, dude. Hold on a second. Can't see shit. But no, we're talking about that term and like the fear of causing some sort of angst or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, dude, man, I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see the people who are eager to play the game or incorporate the game in their gaming would even give a shit. Now, if you're like throwing it into like the general population of role players, like you're surprising people or some shit with it, and you might have some issues, but then they just won't play. There's a lot of role playing games that I don't play because I just don't want to play them. There's like all these like damn RPG. A lot of RPG games are almost the same, man. It's just like, the mechanics are slightly different, but I mean, it's just, how many RPG games can you have that have fucking, post-apocalyptic, Road Warrior-esque kind of shit? It's just like, my God, okay, we got 15 of those games already that have been, published in the last 10 years. Why do we need any more? It's just like, it's been done. It's been done. Just come up with some new shit. It's crazy. But yeah, so Justin, you doing anything hobby-wise right now? What kind of armies you have? You said you had the fascists, but I mean, I'm sure that's just your weird war. Or, I mean, do you have any other armies, or is it just that one? They don't have a big selection. I mean, you're pretty much just infantry, like really light infantry. I don't think they really have any tanks per se. Oh, right on. You're cleaning up your shit. Gotta happen sometimes, man. You gotta reset or get that shit out of the way. Yeah, I tend to keep my place pretty clean. I try to stick to just a couple projects at once, and if I go on to something else, I usually put the old projects away because I just don't want to fucking look at them, like sitting on my desk. I'm not even gonna mess with them. So what I usually do is I like the next game I'm playing or I'm trying to get together is I'm gonna do a Chinese Dare to Die troops are going to attack a Japanese forward airfield. So I'm basically painting what I need for that engagement. So, and then just in general, because we're in 1937 China right now, and we pretty much just started that weird World War II campaign, and it's like so basically, the only thing I really need right now are the Chinese and Japanese. I do want to start doing some Ethiopian versus Italian stuff. I got some cool ideas. My buddy Adam from Wargaming China, were brainstorming one night, and he had mentioned a cool like possibility of like if Italy was able to secure the Suez, right? And then like early in the war, and the Germans wouldn't even make it down there. Then like they'd be too busy with the Germans, and the Germans would have just stayed up there and fucked with all that. But anyway, weird war concept that's pretty cool. I have an idea of like one of the reasons why the Italians are so apt to subdue Ethiopia is that although it's been a colony, um, there's an uprising, and one of the leaders of the uprising is going to be like this superhero, like this Ethiopian like a super, and he's like really badass, and he's really putting the screw to the Italians. So I really want to kind of go with that story and give the Ethiopians a chance to actually fight against the Italians, and then maybe bring the colonial French involved in there eventually. And when the if the anyway, a lot of cool shit to think about. Yeah, yeah, just use the Brits. That's cool. Damn, 5 years, huh? It's a long time. You said you work from home, right? You have to someday. You'll have to, in confidence or whatever, you have to tell me what you do. I used to work from home a lot too, homeschooling my kids and doing like moderation, like website moderation. It's fucking shitty, but whatever. I'm like a social person, man. I need to get out of the house, dude. Plus, it makes you fat sitting on your ass working on on the fucking phone or working in front of your computer or whatever all day. Have you ever, so Justin, have you ever looked into that very British Civil War? We may have talked about this before. I can't remember. Mage Knight. Oh, so speaking of Mage Knight, I don't know if you're talking about the old Mage Knight, like with the minis or whatever. But last month I actually played Mage Knight. I guess there's a new version of it. It's like a board game. It's kind of like a conquest. I played that. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. We you kind of travel around the countryside. You're like some sort of agents of good, and you got to like take over like these like castles and like from the orcs, and monsters and dragons and shit. It was pretty fun. It's a fun game. Oh, okay, with the click bases. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember those were pretty cool. I remember I never played that one, but I had a few of the minis because some of the minis were pretty cool. So I used them for like, my weird wargaming. They were around. I remember in the shops that I frequent, that seemed to be. I mean, I don't know if I never saw it played, but they really were pushing it like at the shop that I would go, the shops that I would go to. So a lot of the product was out, like signs and whatever the fuck. But I never played the original. Nerd, what's up, man? I was just on your cult site, man. Hey, if you guys don't know, a nerd's nerd is an epic 3D printer creator. Swing over to his. I assume it's a he. I could. You could be a female. I don't even know, dude. I assume you're a guy. I think you told me you're a guy. Shit. Again, it's not offensive. It's just I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, they does some awesome World War II and weird World War II and dust stuff on the free. This guy's doing it for free. Man, that's awesome, dude. I really listen. As part of the community, the gaming community here, I want to thank you big time for all that work that you put in to create that stuff for free, man. If I had any money, I'd drop you some just, for saying thanks. But yeah, your stuff is great, dude. I really enjoy it. I printed up, I think those M3 half tracks, American ones. I printed some of those up the other day. They're really nice. And then you saw those little Japanese tankettes that you did. I talking about that one game. But yeah, man, fantastic stuff, dude. I appreciate it, bud. I appreciate you again giving that out to the folks for free. Give people a chance who may not otherwise have the ability to check that stuff out. Oh man, am I fucking painting that shit? God damn it. I'm painting the wrong fucking color. Damn it. Ugh. But yeah, again, thanks, man. Oh shit, dude, you're a guy. No, shit. I can't tell on your name. I mean, that could be nerd chick or nerd dude. So everybody, a nerd's nerd is a manly man that makes awesome minis, 3D printed shirt. But yeah, dude. Yeah, gender's nerd. There you go. Add it to the mix, man. Let's add a that'd be a gender I jump over to. Be it the nerd gender. But yeah, I really dig your shit, man. It's some really good stuff. And again, thanks again for doing all that stuff for us. Again, guys, go over to Cults, the Cult site, CULTS, and I think your handle is a nerd's nerd too. So plug that in and check out all that epic 1/48 scale stuff too. World War II and Weird World War II stuff. Yeah, so Justin, swing over there. There's some stuff in there that you could use for your Brits. Hell, shit. The Brits were using all the American stuff anyway, for the most part. I'm trying to think if you did like a crocodile. I think you did like a. Didn't you do a nerd? You did like a. I think you did like a crocodile flamethrower tank, maybe, or I can't remember. My memory's for shit. For shit. I wonder, do you take requests? Because shit, man, there's some stuff that I'd love to get. Right now, I'm doing like early war Japanese and Chinese, and yeah, I guess most of that stuff's represented somehow or other out there in the mix, in the ether. Oh, you do take requests. I'll have to come up with a list, man, and shoot you a list of stuff that I'm interested in. That hell, I mean, if you're doing Weird War, dude, you can go crazy with that. I have to admit, one cool thing about your 3D printed is it has all those damn different options. You're right. You know, you got like everything that you could do. I know a lot of it's dust and stuff, but shit, that don't matter. You can work all that stuff into your any weird World War II gaming. Oh, right on, Justin. Yeah, some awesome shit, dude. He does some really great stuff, and it's free. It's awesome. You know, it's so funny. It's like, I travel YouTube a lot and check out all the different channels and shit. And there's so many people out there that do not do it for the hobby, man. They all want to make money off it. Join my Patreon. Support the channel with money. Money, money, money. Gimme, 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 gimme. I don't know, man. Maybe I say that now because, I'm not even like monetized or whatever. I'm not even close to I never will be, I'm sure. There's not enough Weird War weirdos out there to do that. But I don't know if I would if I did. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is my hobby, and it's something I love to do. I don't know if I want to. I mean, I was in the business. I was making miniatures at one time, so I was in the business. But whatever. I used to give out my minis a lot as prizes and like gifts to people and shit. Like, but yeah, just I like plugging the hobby, plugging the genre, trying to make it bigger. So through the grapevine, guy. Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, and it's like, and you're kind of in the dust thing. Shit, dust is gone, man. They're not making anything new. They're not losing money from your 3D printing or whatever. I mean, if you go down that kind of mentality, if you're making bootleg stuff from companies that are currently making, I mean, I don't know how I think about that. I think that you know I don't think you should steal shit, but if you're creating something, and you want to sell it, you can. I don't fucking. That's a murky thing. I don't fucking talk about that shit. I'd probably buy bootleg shit, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. It's just like if I saw something and it was like cheaper or it was in front of me and I knew it was a bootleg, I'd probably still buy it. I'm still plugging the games. I'm still talking about the games and the system. I'm still buying their stuff if I get a hold of it, if it's a good price. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think you should blatantly steal someone's shit and then like cast it or call it your own. I mean, if you borrow from something, you should give them at least a heads up, like a nod or some shit. Oh, but anyway, I was talking to you guys about. Yeah, it's cool. So through the grapevine, I heard that, and this is on the Weird World War II front, that Warlord is in the process of rebooting K-47. They're talking about how they're gonna bring that back to life, and I think the talk is they're gonna make it like a grim dark kind of thing. I think. And again, I can't really tell. I can't really say who told me that, but that's just what I've heard through the Weird War grapevine. But they're talking about making it like really grim, like kind of like a post nuclear war, kind of atomic war. So maybe it's going to be like a dark, like a 40K, some shit like that. And I'm like, shit. I guess grim, dark, sells. I don't know if that's what I would do, but I mean, hey, you got to do something with the game. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Warlord should just plug it more. And they haven't really. They bought the thing from. They bought the IP from Clockwork Goblin, and they really haven't done much with it. But I'm telling you, man, their prices. Whoo, my God! I mean their prices for that system are just. I can't. It's priced me out of the game playing it. I mean, there are, and that's the thing, man. They got to think about it. It's like there are superior, um, there's superior alternatives to their stuff. And I would say go to our sponsor, Coveted Forge. And again, I cannot pronounce his damn name, Kacha Macha Kuchi or something. No, I can't. I just raping the hell out of that name. He does those great like Weird War Japanese and Weird War German stuff. Man, he's got some cool ass Soviet stuff now. That stuff is fantastic, and it's relatively cheap, and it looks great on the table. I don't shit. What do I have? I don't think I have any on me right in front of me, but man, I have a whole bunch of it, dude. And and that would replace all my like the warlord Japanese samurai guys, because his samurai guys look fucking hell a lot better, to be honest with him, than like a fraction of the cost. Oh, dude, yeah, MK stuff. Yeah, dude. I remember when I was a kid in the 80s. I remember the MK. I can't even pronounce that. It's a Krieger or a Machini Krieger. It's basically kind of like it looks very kind of weird World War II-ish, but it's not really World War II. It's like on a different planet, and there's these different factions. But anyway, it's like a mech, but it has a really heavy like German, undertones to it. But anyway, yeah, those kits even back in the 80s, dude, were pricey. But man, they came in like that, like plain brown cardboard with like a kind of like a picture on it. It was fucking cool. It was just unique looking. Yeah, those are great. Those are great model kits, man. They had a weird scale though. I think it was like 187th or something, or what? Well, I think a lot of it was 130. Oh shit, Mike. Hold on a second, guys. I make fucking computer's about to go dead here. There we go. Hopefully that'll keep it from going dead. That charging, yeah. But yeah, yeah, that stuff was awesome. I think they're still producing some of that line. I hear I venture to a lot of the model sites too, and every once in a while you'll see some guys talking about that line of stuff. There's a Facebook group. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like weird World War II like imagery and background or something like that. And there's a guy in there. He's like a nut for that stuff, and he does like all these kind of like he does all these dioramas and makes these like stories and stuff about the stuff that he's taking pictures of or whatever. So it's still got a pretty good, I guess, got a pretty good customer base or fan base at least for that stuff. I mean, just mech stuff. If you're into the mech, like Gundam stuff is still super popular over in Japan and stuff. I know a couple people here in the States that are big Gundam fans that are modeling Gundam and doing all that shit. I never really got into Gundam. It's funny because all these years, I'd seen all of the Robotech shit. I'd seen all the Star Blazers. I'd seen, Nausicaa, some of the, Venus Wars, some of the cool animes and mech stuff or whatever. But I never watched any Gundam. So I don't know shit about it, right? I didn't know nothing about it. I just knew they're giant robots, and there's tons of different kinds of giant robots, basically. Not robots, but mechs or whatever. And I watched like the first season, and it was just I'm like, dumb. I just couldn't get into it, man. I don't know. Maybe it gets better, or it's maybe it loses something in translation, but I don't know. I was surprised that what I had seen was so popular because I just didn't get it. I just didn't get why it was so like popular. Let's see here. They still make it, but they license out figures to go with it. Let's see here. They still make it, but they license out figures to go with it and that stuff. Yeah. I want to say that it's mostly 135 scale, but like they're bigger, like those big hovercraft looking things. Those things are like 187 or 1 fucking 80, some weird, just kind of off, like an off scale. Yeah, again, there's a lot of it. Nerd was talking about how he grew up on it. Toonami. I remember Toonami, dude. I remember it was a little past my time, but I remember Toonami being around. But yeah, it's like it's huge. It was it's still fucking huge. And when I watched it probably like a year ago. I watched that first season or the first group of movies or whatever it is, however it's cut up. And I just was not impressed. A bunch of kids, like there's a war, the war's going on, and there's big mechs running around, and they're flying out of airplane or flying out of, I don't know. I just didn't get it. It just wasn't that exciting. I just didn't understand why it was so. I mean, the animation's fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong. It looks cool. It looks fucking amazing. The cool mechs fighting each other and the shit blowing up, and they're in the cities and stuff, and that's fucking cool. But like the story wasn't enough to keep me interested in it. So I didn't. I left. I don't even think I finished the first season or the first series of movies. I don't know. Are they movies? Are they seasons? Is it a TV show or is it a series of movies? I can't remember. I want to say it was like a series. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, yeah, the MK stuff it's like German kind of futuristic, like World War II German-esque futuristic stuff, but like kind of in the prism of like the Japanese anime, manga mech shit. It's pretty cool. I always like seeing like how culturally things are like kind of modified, or how they look after they've been culturally appropriated. There you go. That's the phrase for today. Cultural appropriation, or whatever the fuck they call it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw that Black Site is like it's actually a Texas company. They make like MDF like scenery, and they do like minis and shit or whatever. But they did it looks like they did a line of figures that looks like the Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, Nausicaa, however you guys saw it. Those cool fucking tanks and those, yeah, they look fucking cool. I always thought that would have been a cool line of toys, those badass tanks. I don't know if you guys have never seen that Valley of the Wind. Holy shit, those air battles they had. Oh man, that's fucking awesome. Giant bugs. That was that was probably my favorite anime growing up. That and Star Blazers. So when I was a kid, I remember racing home from elementary school. Like I had to walk home from school, so that was about half a mile away or a mile away or whatever. So I would fucking run home, dude, and because it was on like I got off at 3:30, right, and it came on at 4, so I had a half hour to get home and get ready for Star Blazers because it had like that countdown. Earth only has so many days until it's defeated by the Gamelon attack. Yeah, exactly. So Nerd is saying like these are the quotes of like the show. Well, my robot is like super special and has a force field. And then the other guy goes, "Oh yeah, well my super special robot has a gun that ignores force field." So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was like these children, like I don't know, it's hilarious. But I'm a big fan of like badly dubbed foreign films. Oh man, those are great. The Indonesian stuff is fucking fabulous, man. That's great. Just the translate. It's just like you think the voice actors, right? The English speaking voice actors that are saying like like literal translations of this shit. It doesn't sound like anything. You think they would say like, this doesn't make any sense. We don't talk like this. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be more like this instead of you actually saying it, verbatim, the translation, the literal translation. But maybe they don't. Maybe the producer's like, shut up, just read the script. Do as you're told. No, I don't know. It's funny. We're talking about voice actors, right? I used to be a big comic book guy, right? Back in the day, I used to collect collect Golden Age and Silver Age shit. But anyway, back in the day, so like in the 80s, I'd even say maybe even in the early 90s, like early 90s. Well, maybe just the 80s, to be honest with you. Comic book shows like Comic Cons were just fucking comics, man. Thousands and thousands of long boxes of comics, just comics. And then you would get like, you'd always have those bootleg guys. You'd always have like the bootleg table that would do like, he'd do like VHS bootlegs, like the Star Wars, Christmas special bootleg, or there'd be like bootlegs of like all the anime, Go-Go 13 or whatever that hadn't made it to the States, or all that anime stuff. And then you'd have like, guys like bootlegging like t-shirts. They'd be making their own like comic book t-shirts. Cause shit back then, comic books weren't merchandise like it is now, dude. Like it was rare that they had like Kenner had a toy line for a while, the Superpowers, which was fucking phenomenal. They did DC, and then was it Kenner? Did I say Kenner? I don't know. Someone did the Marvel one, the Secret Wars line, and that wasn't all that great. But it was a Marvel toy line. So you had two toy lines. You had a DC one and a Marvel one. The DC one was a lot better, but the Marvel one did have them, and that was it. They were out for what, like 5 years, and then they were gone. You couldn't find them. Weren't making them. It was kind of like the old days when like Star Wars came out. You'd have like Star Wars toys out the ass, and then Empire came out. You had Star Wars, and then Return of the Jedi came out, and then boom, Star Wars was done. You didn't see it anymore. It wasn't in the stores. Everything was bought. Everything was gone. But anyway, back to the comics. So like there's a local comic shop here just down the street, the Bell County Comic Con, I think is what it's called. And I'm looking at like, all the guests, right? There wasn't one fucking comic like talent there. It was all voice actors and actors. That was it. There was no like comic book artists. There weren't any comic book writers. There wasn't any publishers. There wasn't any fucking, inkers or whatever. It was only like voice talent and like actors. I'm just like, how is that a fucking Comic-Con, man? It's like nothing but, it just seems now, and it's just me being the old grownard that I am. These comic conventions aren't about comics anymore. It's like cosplay, and I mean, it's cosplay, and it's like movie stars, and it's like wrestlers and porn stars, and it's fucking, whatever. I've even seen politicians putting up like vote for whoever at a comic convention. I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy. But yeah, it's all just like, I mean, listen, I mean, there's a place for that. There's a place for anime cosplay, and trust me, if there's some hot chicks that do that shit, that's great to look at. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Can't you just have like a cosplay con, anime con? And I know in Texas we have a thing called A-Con, which is like anime, and it's massive, dude. It's fucking massive, and all the anime people come out and they dress up like their favorite whatever games, or their stars, or whatever. And so there you go. That's what you got. You got your anime con. But man, the Comic Cons just went to shit, dude. Just changed. And you're right, nerd. That's exactly right. Hey, Bo, what's that? Yeah, Beto's popular in certain parts down here, dude. I don't know why. Anyway, but yeah. So like, you're right, nerd. You know, pot. Like when I was growing up, and again, I can only testify to my personal experience. Is that you know I started collecting comics in the late to my personal experience is that you know I started collecting comics in the late 70s. I was pretty young, and then I was an 80s kid. So like, I wasn't ridiculed because honestly, I was always I wasn't always fat, but I was always a big guy. I was playing sports and shit. So no one really fucked with me because I'd fuck with them back. But like, I wasn't a jock, man. I was into the geek crowd. I was into punk rock and heavy metal. I was into, I played D&D all the time. I was big into Twilight 2000. So I was a role player and a war gamer, and no woman would have anything to do with me. Although I did date, but you didn't have your girlfriends didn't play these games with you because it was stigma, and they just but yeah, geek chic, man. I mean, I remember being an outcast. I would wear like weird T-shirts, and people were like, "What the fuck is that? What are the cramps?" Or, what is a bard or whatever whatever. So it's just like, and it's weird how culture has changed. Where geek is chic, and now I feel like, do they really know what they're doing? Is it just like? Because I saw some lady wearing. It was so weird. I saw a lady wearing, like, what was it? It was at like HEB, which is like our grocery stores. What was she wearing? She was wearing a what was she? I think she was wearing like Black Canary or something. Was it Black Canary? Black Canary and Wildcat or some shit like that. So like in my mind's eye, Black Canary and Wildcat were like Silver Age, even like Golden Age, like superheroes, right? And this is just some ladies wearing this T-shirt. I'm like, does she even know who the fuck that is, or is it just comics are so prevalent and just so in everything that she just picked it up because it looked cool. Let's see what we got going on. Hyper politicalized. Taser tag. And that's another thing, man. So like, Bo mentions something like, the OnlyFans and stuff. And like, look, when I took my kids, and I am beyond, guys. If you truly knew who I was, I am furthest from being a prude than you could possibly imagine. Okay. But I go to a Comic-Con with my little kids, and there's porn stars, there's wrestlers, and then there's like, whatever, right? And I'm just like, and they're pretty revealing. And although it's cool and titillating or whatever, I'm just like, is that where it's come? It's just like, just anybody that throws down money for a table can come to the Comic-Con? I mean, I don't know. I was just like, can't we just like, this isn't really wrestlers either. I mean, why? Although, Big Lou, Big Lou, he was there and I was talking to him. It was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of strange. And they had like little flyers, and they had like little flyers, and this was before like the what OnlyFans or whatever, but they had like their own website. Like, come to our website, we'll do whatever. I'm just like, really? So strange. Eats tacos with a fork. Yeah, we called it laser tag. You guys call it taser tag? We had it was called laser tag down here in the States, or at least in Texas. Me and my best friend Jason, we used to be big paintball guys, like huge. Every other weekend we would shit, man. Back in the day, we had some badass guns. We had 68 automags with nitrogen kits and all that shit. We were all decked out. We had like Radio Shack comlinks and shit, and it was a lot of fun. And but dude, like, so we could, because our guns are so badass, we could burn through a whole fucking case of paint. It was a lot of fun in one game if we wanted to, right? So that was kind of what kept us grounded in our gaming, in our paintballing, is because paintballs are so fucking expensive. It's like $100 for a case or something like that. And yeah, it just, again, it just, the price, it got really popular in the late 90s, early 90s or whatever. And it just, the prices just, God, it just got outrageous. I'm just like, I can't afford paintballs, man. But yeah, that was a fun little, but I did laser tag a couple times. That was pretty fun. If that's what taser tag is, or if you're actually using tasers, that's something different. Oh, real tasers. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, okay, so it's laser tag. Okay, yeah, I don't know about taser tag. That doesn't sound very fun. It sounds like it might hurt, actually. Well, as a kid, we used to play Roman candle wars. So I can't really bitch because those fuckers hurt when they hit you, man. And we always made promises. Okay, no one aim for the eyes. Of course, there's always some kid got hit in the face, and that's when it all stopped. Some asshole shot the kid in the face, and the mom found out, and like, shit, dude. Our parents were freaking the fuck out that we're doing it anyway. So got ruined. Back in the day when you played outside all day, and like when the street lights turned on, you ran home. Good old days. I don't know. We played a lot of video games too. I mean, I remember when the first person to get a video game system on our block was my neighbor, and they got like an Atari, the original Atari. And holy shit, that was we would go over there for fucking days. We'd spend the night. We spent like the whole weekend over at their house playing Atari. And then like we got Atari, like my family got Atari. We had Pong before that, but that's pretty boring. But we got Atari, and then we got in television. That was a lot of fun. And then after that, ColecoVision, and then Nintendo. Yeah. But it was funny because I wasn't a huge video game guy. I mean, I like playing video games, but I had a lot of the systems though. They give you a shock. Shit, dude. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, hell. That's one way to do it. It'd be like paintball. I mean, when you get hit with a paintball, you feel that shit. But you have to do the honor system for the most part on paintball, because I've seen assholes, like, take a knee and rub it in the ground, or rub his ass against the tree or some shit to wipe it off or whatever. But there's always going to be those fucking cheaters. Always the cheaters. But if the whole game is just to inflict pain, then who fucking care? You're gonna get stung anyway, unless they turn off their stinging apparatus and they never get hurt. Got a bunch of fucking kids outside. Man, it's fucking 8:30 at night, dude, and there's kids running around outside my front window. Again, my old grownardness is showing. So, Bo, what are you up to, man? Oh yeah, dude, nerd. We had some dudes freezing their balls one time. I remember the worst fucking story I have for paintball. We're like on this field that we always go to. Really big field, great. It had a lot of people come to it, so there's a lot of people. There's always like new people or whatever, because they would rent equipment and stuff. But anyway, so this guy gets shot, right? This kid shoots him, right? And he comes out, and then he's walking out. He doesn't have his hands up, but anyway, he's obviously dead. So like if you've played before, he's dead because his gun's down. He's just walking out, right? Well, some little kid, some 10-year-old kid, right, with this little Tipman pump pro-am, shoots him, right, just because he's excited or whatever. And the guy, like, instead of going, I'm hit, he like fucking opens up on this kid. I mean, kid's like 10, dude, and like just lights this kid up, man. And we fucking pounced on that dude. I mean, we beat the fuck out of him. The two refs that were reffing the game had to drag his ass off the field because, dude, people were gonna kill that fucker. Because that kid was bleeding. I mean, he was welted up and he was bleeding all over. And he's just some fucking kid, man. Shit like that happens, dude. You got to man up and just, take it sometimes because some people make mistakes. You don't have to fucking destroy somebody. But yeah, that dude, we never saw that guy again. He's lucky because shit, man. If anybody ever saw him again, he'd be fucking wasted. It was bad. It was a bad, bad scene. That kid. In fact, there was talks about them. The field may have been sued or was going to be sued because of that instance because they failed to protect the kid or whatever the fuck it was. But anyway, he that guy definitely got his fucking righteous justice from the other players. But yeah, that was a bad scene. Sometimes you got to take care of those that can't take care of themselves. I'm a big proponent of that kind of shit. I'm not a fighter. I mean, but I will if you have to. And there's people that are weaker than you, man. It doesn't make them fucking bad people. It doesn't make them worthless. Doesn't make them any less worthy of protection. So if you can, help the people that might need some help. Message. Cooking supper. What are you cooking, Bill? Yeah, that's true too. I mean, sometimes, you're supposed to chrono your guns before you go on the field too. It's got to be so many. When you shoot, it's got to be so many feet per second or whatever. But yeah, if you're in cold, it doesn't get that cold down here in Texas. We have winters, but it ain't like sub fucking zero craziness or sub. I don't even know what's zero. What's freezing? What's the temperature of freezing at Celsius? It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit when water freezes. I'm not sure what Celsius is. But yeah, you guys are cold most of the time, and I could see those paintballs, getting hard just sitting in your hoppers. Where are you at, nerd? What are you in the States? Are you across the pond? You in Canada? Where you at? Bo, where are you at? You're in the Midwest, right? You're up in like in Wisconsin or some shit, Michigan, Idaho, some shit. Yeah, dude. You can't fucking do that shit. Even, and like I know you're like a martial artist, and I'm sure that you guys have unwritten rules in the martial arts. I've never been a martial arts guy, so I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure that you guys have some unwritten rules and how to take care of, those who don't know or are in danger of being, victimized by some bastard. Because there are people out there that they got the skill and they got the talent and they got the ability, but they just don't have the mindset to keep it an art and not just a means to dispense harm and pain. There's always that group, man. There's always that small percentage that just fucking bastards. US based, right on. 32 0. So you guys are 0. Okay. So 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point. Okay. I wanted to say that I knew that, but I'm a product of American public education, man. We didn't learn Celsius or the metrics or anything like that. America. Making tacos. Hell yeah. What kind of tacos? Beef, chicken, fish. Being in Texas, dude, there's fucking tacos with every possible meat, every possible, like, you got flour, you got corn, you got all sorts of shit down here. I like chicken fajita tacos. That's what I like. Like ground beef tends to give me. I used to be a big beef eater, but man, I don't do red meat anymore. It just gives me the shits, man. I really mostly just eat fish and chicken. I have pork every once in a while. Some lean pork. Pork is good. Bacon's good. Pork chops are good. Oh, you're in Utah. Utah. Damn. I didn't think I was. I didn't think you were over there that far. The French. They still. Did you have to learn French in school? School, because you guys have like a dual like language, right? It's French and English. I know all your fucking like signage is different. Like it wouldn't be like Brian Stadium; it'd be Stadium Brian or some shit like that'd be like reversed. I guess it'd be reversed for me, but not for you. See, look at that. My ethnocentricity is showing. I took sociology. My worthless classes I had to take for my major. My worthless major. The dish pit, huh? Oh yeah, dude. I'm not a fan of fish tacos at all. It's just I like fish, but just not fish tacos. And I'm not a big, being a Texan, catfish is huge down here. That's kind of fish tacos. And I'm not a big, being a Texan, catfish is huge down here. That's kind of like what you get, like in all the restaurants, it'd be catfish or whatnot. I'm more into like the non-fishy fish kind of fish. Fuck, man, because I like, I don't know, dude. That fishy fish. Ooh, that's rough. But I guess I don't eat fried fish. I always eat grilled fish. So it's like I guess if you can fry it, it tastes good. I mean, you can fry a fucking boot. That shit tastes good. Frying a boot. Yeah, we have like we got like our state fairs and shit down here, whatnot, county fairs, and there's always like people are frying everything, fried pickles, fried fucking tomatoes, fried fucking ice cream, fried whatever, just everything is fried. Some crazy stuff you can fry. It's good though. Tastes good. Tastes delish. Delish. Those are the English signs wouldn't be reversed again. Goodness, such ire for the Les Français. Actually, my I want to say my part of my family is from La France. We are. I am half Norwegian. My grandmother's from Norway, and then we've got French. and Scottish. My last name is Cottrell. So we've got French and Scottish and Norwegian in this fat bastard blood. It's funny because my dad grew up in Minnesota, right? Or no, Wisconsin, and they got a pretty big like kind of Nordic community up there, and he would eat all that like lutefisk and all those like traditional like Norwegian dishes up there, and then like luckily my mom never learned how to make it because my god we had it, my grandmother would make it or whatever, and yeah, it was different, not to my palate. But the like traditional Mexican food down here, like menudo and all that crazy shit. Yeah, I'm not keen on that stuff either. Yeah. Beer Battle pickle chips are damn good, dude. Those are really fucking good. Those are very, very good. I mean, it's my grandfather. You crazy. Crazy. So Utah, huh, Bo? So we're talking Mormons and Native Americans, and what else is up in Utah? How's Utah like in like land? I know like in a lot of this the western northwestern states or just western states. I know the government has procured huge swaths of like the state's land, and they're having problems with taxation because there's no one owns any fucking land. And they can't do anything with it because it's all fed. Is Utah like that too, man? Because I know like Arizona and New Mexico is like that really bad. I want to say North Dakota. I think the Dakotas are like that too, but I'm not sure about Utah because of reasons. You're just murking. Yep, just I'm actually painting. I can't believe it. I'm getting some work done. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. Get some painting done. Shit. I'm going to a job fair tomorrow. Need to get a better job, man. Shit. Again, prices are fucking. It's rough down here, guys. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, man, but fucking shit is expensive. We got our central bank here in the States are like increasing interest rates. I need a car too. I need to fucking get a car. And there's no way I'm going to get a car because the interest rates are outrageous. Fucking outrageous, man. And then like mortgage percentage, man, it's like for a 30 years fixed rate, it's like 7% here in the States. I'm just like, fuck. I bought in 3 houses in my life, and I have never had a mortgage more than like 3.5%. I'm just like, Jesus. Crazy times, folks. And that puts luckily I got so much hobby shit already that I really don't need to buy a whole lot. And that's one thing, like, so okay, guys. So back probably like 15 years ago, right? I do. The fucking history degree, dude. So check this out. So I'll tell the story about that. So I get my degree, and I have a friend that's a professor, and I got 2 buddies that are in the public system. And I'm like, we're at the bar getting shit faced, and I'm like, okay, guys, give me no BS assessment about becoming a teacher, because I was thinking about being a teacher, right? Dude, they were like, man, the professor guy was like, he's like, dude, all you do is try to get your tenure, and then you fucking don't give a shit. Right. And I'm like, well, that's wonderful. And then the public education guys were saying, like, dude, all you do is this constant fucking policy changes, constant curriculum changes, and all you do is teach to the test. That's all you do. You just whatever standardized test that your state has, that's the whole fucking school year is completely geared to just teach them so they'll pass the damn test. And it changes every year, like the criteria for the what needs to be taught, blah blah blah, and the school, all the politics of the fucking school boards and all that bullshit, right? And they were just saying, don't do it. And I looked into it a little bit deeper, and they're right, man. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do that shit. But hey guys, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go yell at those kids real quick. They're like fucking yelling in front of my window. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I yelled at him. Like just like fucking screaming and shit. It's like 8:47 here. You wanted to be a teacher? Yeah. Yeah, dude, and they don't get paid with their shit. And then I dated a few teachers, and I saw what they did, man. It's like these women, I mean, they love their job and they love their students. So don't get me wrong. A lot of these teachers, they, they go into it like really fucking wanting to, make a change or make a mark and really help these kids and teach and do something good. But then they get stymied, and then it's like they're buying like supplies for the kids. They're like having to give all these kids like pens and paper. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not a big deal, but I mean, if you're doing that all year long and these kids and then like why isn't the school doing that shit? Why isn't the school, like, if you're a poor kid and you don't have any fucking pens, why is the teacher paying for that? It should be like, shit, the school's paying for it or whatever, because shit. And then it was like, like a lot of these, I homeschooled my kids. So, I mean, I was a teacher. My children never stepped in a school in their life. My children never stepped in a school in their life. I taught my kids how to read and to write and math and all that shit. That was me. There's no one else. And so I guess I did get some teaching in, but yeah, it was like they're giving their own money and all this extra time to prepare and to help kids, and then that's noble. That's a noble deed. But again, and these are the good ones. These are the good ones. But they're spending a lot of their own money and time. It's just like unless you have a mission calling and that's what you want to do, it's counterproductive, because I have my own family I'd have to, take care of. But anyway. Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, I probably no, I'm actually, they're cool. The kids are cool. It's just, and that's cool. They're excited. I get it. They got water guns out there and they're going ape shit, and that's fine. But it's a little late. It's dark outside and they're screaming right in front of my window. So it's just like, I asked them, just go in your own yards and scream in your windows there. Just scream in your windows there. We used to play this game called Spies when I was a kid, and it was basically hide and go seek. But at night, we play at night, and we'd be hiding in the bushes in the neighborhood and all that shit. And man, we'd see our neighbors fucking, we'd see, people are eating, they were sitting there watching TV or whatever. And it was so funny because it's not that we didn't mean to do that. We were just playing like hide and go seek, at night. And we just happened to like, all these little encounters with our neighbors and shit. And we'd always get yelled at and like, get out of here, God damn it. And I'll call your parents. Like, see ya. We were scared of adults back then, man. We were like, oh, and we were respectful for the most part. Plus we're in their fucking yard. We were kind of taught that, if you're in someone else's yard, they tell you to get out. That's that's what you do. But yeah, you got to get prompted first. but yeah, that was some good time. I had a pretty cool, but yeah, that was some good time. I had a pretty cool neighborhood. We had lots to do. We had a park just like a block away, a really big park. So I had a pretty good childhood. Gran Torino. I pull out my M1 rifle, like start talking about fucking. I won't. It won't be Cree. I'll be talking about Nom or some shit. Oh shit, he's a Nom guy. It's funny that I say that because it's not funny. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and it has nothing to do with any of that shit. So like, I was working. I had this job, and there was this British guy that I worked with, right? And that guy was a Marine, and he was in the Falklands, right? And that motherfucker, everything that happened at work, he would relate to some instance when he was in fucking the Falkland War, right? Everything, like someone farted. I remember back in the Falklands, and then he like someone wrecked one of the rental cars that we worked at a rental company. Like, oh, it reminds me of the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I got so sick of hearing that shit, and I would counter every time he started to do that. I would counter with, well, back in fucking Nom. I would just do that, and I just start making up some crazy fucking shit of a Nom story. And he's like, shut up, Cottrell. I'm like, well, shit, man, fucking Nom. We had shit falling out of the trees. Anyway, it was funny. But so that's kind of, I used to do that. And at the bar that I frequent with, we had, I was big into bowling, right? I was a pretty good bowler because I'm fat. So fat guys are good at bowling. Bowling and darts. Bowling, darts, and, those bar games. And those games where you don't have to do much, moving around. Darts, bowling, and foosball. That was fucking excellent. Won awards and shit for that shit. But we had one of our bowling teams was Team Vietnam, because I would just constantly say, well, back in fucking Nam. So, but yeah, that's where that all that came from. Fucking Falklands, man. I did, you never even think of that, but it's the same thing. You got some British dude working with it and just fucking talking about fucking the Falklands constantly. Teaser turrets, right? Lost Trails, that sounds cool. It was kind of like it was kind of like kick the can too. It was like if you got caught, they would take you to like we had like light poles in the street. One of them was like directly center in the fucking street, and that was like the home base. So like, if you got caught, you were sent to the base, and then like you could jailbreak the guys. You would run if you tagged them on the pole. We would all spread out and then rehide or whatever. But yeah, man, that was some fucking good old times. So crazy thinking about all that shit. It's so weird because a couple of my childhood buddies that I grew up with have passed away already. One had cancer of the foot, like on the bottom of his foot. One of them died of like a stroke. Another one died. Some of these guys they had some pretty hard lives. They have big drugs and alcohol, but it's just weird. I'm just 50, and it's just like, I'm telling you, it makes you think. I'm not much of a religion guy. I'm not much of a believer, but I don't have a lot of fear, but death is probably the only fear that I have. And it's just, I tell you, when your buddies that you knew and grew up with are dying, and you see their families and you see the unfinished legacies of these guys. You just makes you think. Just makes you think about what's important and what's going on. And I kind of talked about on one of our Weird War Wednesdays. I kind of talked about do you have plans for your collections when you pass away, and then all that kind of shit. So it's just it's sobering. I'm in pretty good health. Otherwise, being a fat bastard, which I'm working on. I've actually lost 30 pounds, which is good. But I could lose more. I could use a lot more. And, I have, I'm predisposed to like cholesterol. So I take cholesterol meds and shit like that. But anyway, I'm pretty healthy. But, shit. A lot of this shit, guys, is genetic, man. Because, these guys that keeled over, they're in fucking great shit. I mean, in their past, they ruined their bodies, but they hadn't done anything like that for 20 years, but it just caught up to them or something. And just sometimes the healthy just end up getting, genetically, they just get hammered, or accidents or whatever. You just never know. Squeal like a pig. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad. I mean, there's certain drugs you should definitely not do. I mean, not even try if you can help it. I mean, I'm not much of I'm kind of a control guy. I don't like losing control. So if I drink, I usually don't drink. I don't get drunk. If I do anything else, it's just really mellow, because I'm not really big into just like being completely fucking shit faced or out of control. So I've never been one to really go off the rails and that kind of stuff. But shit, I used to hang around guys. I used to roadie for some punk bands back in the day, and shit, I've seen it all, man. Fucking crazy. There a lot of these guys. You live this long? You never even expect them to live as long as they did, the way they lived. But again, like one of the I have this one buddy that guy was completely out of control. He'd be on like 3 different fucking drugs at once, banging chicks without any condoms, just fucking completely reckless, out of control, man. And the motherfucker's still kicking, still strong as an ox, just still living that lifestyle. So again, it's just some people are just able to do it, I guess. Yeah, it's true. So you gotta be careful, though. You never want to always finish your projects, because just as long as something's not done, you're safe. Okay, you're safe. That's the gaming mantra. That's how that goes. Once you finish all your minis, you're a dead man. So I was watching on one of the fucking 40K channels. It's funny because I rarely entertain those fucking channels at all, because I'm not a fan of any of that. I mean, some of the minis are kind of cool. It kind of brings me back, because I used to play in 1st and 2nd edition. But other than that, like, I don't really give a shit. But like they were talking about like people cheating at a grand tournament. Like some guy was throwing like dice down a toilet so he wouldn't be found, or some crazy shit. And I guess up in Gen Con this last week, or a couple weeks ago, whatever, there was a big theft. I guess a couple of guys like stole a bunch of cards, like Pokemon cards and Magic cards or some bullshit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, once it gets out, well, I don't know. I mean, do you have a fence for fucking Pokemon cards? Because I mean, if you start putting that shit on eBay, you're gonna get pinched. I just don't get it. It's just like, what the fuck are you thinking? And then like, there's some big like to do about like, there's some sort of like brush cleaning station, right? Where you like, it's like a box, There's like a bottle of water, and you push your brush, and like it shoots out a little water, and there's like a little like fucking reservoir that you clean your brushes with or some shit, and then like you push a button and it gets drained and new water, fresh water. Just some fucking dumb shit that someone created to try to make some money. Anyway, so like one company says that they have like IP for it, right? Or like they have the trademark for it, and another company's saying no, you don't. We're gonna sell it anyway, or whatever. And they're like, I guess the one company sends a fucking warning, like a letter to. Okay, so guys, I got a buddy who's like a fucking like super lawyer. He used to be a fucking senator in the fucking Texas House for like 20 years. Anyway, and he said he's like, Brian, the first thing a lawyer does, and this is the most common thing, is they'll just send a letter. They'll just send a letter. I'd be like, Bo, don't talk about painting anymore. That's all I say. It doesn't. There's no threatening, like no legal action. There's no. It's just a letter saying don't do this. And a good percentage of people are just freaked out, thinking that that's some sort of legal standing, like they have to follow the rule, whatever the fuck. No, it's just a letter telling me, asking you to do something. That's all it is. That's all it fucking is. So, like, if you get a letter saying, like, Justin, you need to stop talking on the internet, signed, Tudor, Prime Minister of Canada, don't be scared. Can't fucking do it. Well, yeah, he might be able to do something. He might be able to come and blow up your house or some shit. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like they can't do anything. It's just a letter. So, but again, it's like a fake out a lot of the times. So don't get freaked out if you get a damn letter from a lawyer. Now, if you get a letter from a lawyer that has like a dude servicing it, serving it to you, then yeah, you need to take that like it's serious. But yeah. Anyway, just a bunch of silly shit. I kind of like watching those kind of things about our hobby, just on the peripheral, just the weird shit. Green stuff. That's it. That's the green stuff thing. $300,000 worth of magic cards. I mean, is that like a truck full? It looked like just a pallet to me. How could there even be $300,000 worth of magic cards? That's fucking crazy. Microwave. Paint. It's a paintbrush bidet. It's true. It's like squirts. Their hairbrush. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I guess that's the threat. Yeah, so I guess now that you guys are talking about it, green stuff. I guess so. Like I'm in the weird war realm, and my blinders are on for the most part. So I'm not really listening to all the fucking static all around me for the most part. But I hear from what I've ascertained, this green stuff world or whatever they're kind of shysters. So whatever. I don't even are they I think they're a British company. I think they're out of England, or maybe they're not. I don't fucking know. So, Justin, you guys have oh god, wargaming, oh shit, miniature wargamers. That site, that YouTube site. Jesus, man, like I'll plug in like wargaming battle report, right? And YouTube. That's it. Wargaming battle report. And all like the first 50 fucking responses is that wargaming miniature. We game and call it work or whatever that company is. And it's all their fucking fantasy and their 40K and my God. And it's just page after page of these fucking that one group of dudes like playing their shit. I am not fans of those guys. Their personalities, painful. Painful. Just want to hit him with a pipe. Let's play a high thing of a taser tag. Oh, they're Spanish. But anyway, but yeah, just do they have a physical store? I know they're Canadian. I don't know where they are in Canada. That YouTube channel, but I know they're Canadian. Not that it'd be. I swear, a typical American. It's like it'd be like you running into somebody on the street that's from Texas, like, oh yeah, you know Brian. It's just like, oh, that motherfucker. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's only like a bazillion people in Texas. What's the gaming like in Utah? I would think. What's the gaming like in Utah? I would think Utah would have a pretty good like, because some of the isolationism up there. I bet you got shit all for like game shops though. But hey, but be honest with you, Texas is the same. We don't have nearly as many as the brick and mortars we did back in the day. But I mean, I think that's for anything really. España. I watched a pretty good movie you guys might be into. I'm big into like horror, sci-fi and shit. I'm like into cheesy horror too, but we watched The Night of the Scarecrow. It was like it's like a 1970s like TV movie. It's pretty good. It has like so like the main like I don't know if you guys have seen Dr. Giggles. It's that actor dude. He also played like Darkman in the second Darkman or the second third Darkman. I can't remember his name, but he was like kind of like a Mice and Men meets some sort of like Stephen King horror movie. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. Oh, so a lot of you hard sci-fi guys, right? There's a channel on YouTube, Quinn's Ideas, I think is what it's called. Quinn's, I think it's Quinn's Ideas. This guy, like, if you're into Dune, so this guy's a huge Dune nut, dude. But anyway, he makes all these awesome videos about like actual like books, like novels and shit. He loves, I mean, and it's like intricate. And he's talking about like right now, he's talking about the cyberpunk genre, right? And I guess it was what Philip K. Dick's. What is it? Oh shit, what is it? Psycho. I can't remember. But anyway, he's doing all these books. But he was talking about the Annihilation. You guys, I don't know if you guys seen that Annihilation movie, which didn't like the actresses in it. Didn't like some of that crap. I like the like weirdness of it, like the cinematography and the effects are fucking awesome, and just kind of the general like story of this shit just expanding and altering Earth. But anyway, I guess it comes from a series of books, Annihilation books, and I've been watching that shit, and it's pretty fucking fascinating. I mean, like if you read the novels, he does. He is, yes, though he is the Dune guy. He, I had only read the first Dune. I didn't read any of the other books, and I found his channel a couple years ago, and he does. I watched all of his Dune channel, like explaining, all the different factions, and then like the war with the robots that started this whole, like they're not doing like robotic shit. They're kind of staying away from tech and using the spice to full space instead of like doing like warp drives and shit. I think that's what, because of the robot like uprising or whatever. But fascinating, just how he goes into like Idaho's like fucking whole lineage. He keeps getting cloned and all that. Just fantastic. If you guys have always wanted to know what the fuck is going on in Dune and like what happens like after, watch this Quinn's ideas. He's fucking, his videos are great. All right, Bo, you have a good one, man. Thanks for swinging by and hanging out with us. A browser plugin that's called YouTube Channel Blocker. It adds a little X in front of the channel name, and when you click it, the channel is just gone. Huh. That's interesting. I watch I'm on my laptop right now. This thing's connected to my laptop. But I watch a lot of my YouTube on we got a Roku, and I just watch it on like my TV for a lot of that. So I don't know if it has something like that. So Justin, you got plans? Are you going to start working on some armies? You can keep working on your Brits, or what are you getting your table clear for? Is it for any kind of hobby stuff, or is it just to get it clear? I'd like to see some battle reports. Or shit, let me borrow your fascists and I'll play them out somehow. So in my weird World War II, right? In my I'm not gonna get away too much, but in the story, I've got to neutralize the Commonwealth, right? Germans can't last long, any longer than it already did if the Commonwealth is in play. So I have to neutralize the fucking Commonwealth, and I mean the Brits, Canadians, the Australians, the New Zealanders, the Indians. So, but yeah, so I did a lot of research. Like I was going to play out. I talked to the guy who wrote that very British Civil War. Great guy. I can't remember his name, but great guy. I talked to on Discord, and he just sent me all the books just for free. Just sent me the PDFs, and I read. Those are hard reads, man, because it's so just like, if you're not British, it's really hard to kind of understand all the political nuances and like the cultural nuances and whatnot. But, there's enough to it. And I was thinking about playing out like a civil war, like a British Civil War. And that's one way the Commonwealth collapses and isn't able to do what it did during World War II because it's got all the internal struggles. But I'm sitting there and I'm like pricing everything. I'm like, fuck, I'm not about to buy like 15 different fucking factions and play out this huge, cool, although cool Civil War, using kind of that source book as kind of like a guideline. So I came out with something more mystical. So I'll leave it to you guys when it happens. See what you guys think. But yeah, I was just like, because like I'm sitting here, I don't have any. I have like maybe like a platoon of early war British. That's all I have. Like BDF stuff. And I'm like sitting here, and I'm like, looking at like budgets and looking at time, and I'm like, fuck, I am not gonna even be able to buy like Brits for the fucking Pacific, Brits for fucking North Africa. Brits for fucking, early and late war, Europe, and then I plan on doing like naval shit, right? So I'm like buying a whole fucking British fleets, shit. So I'm just doing this out of just necessity because I just don't have the fucking money. I'm like, I gotta neutralize the Commonwealth. So I will. Commonwealth will be neutralized. So yeah. Oh no, you British stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like to check them out. Yeah, I wanted to get. It would be hard to get. You can use a lot of proxies for that stuff because they're just kind of wearing just like black jumpsuits almost. That's it. But yeah, it's an interesting Mosley and his crew. It'd be interesting to like have them like maybe take over and whatever, just to mix it up a bit. You gotta make a weird war. That's one way to make it weird. Have the fascists in charge. But woo, look at that. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is in charge. But woo, look at that. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Got 9. Almost got 9, like 3/4 of the way done. Sweet. All right, man. Well, it's running along with the two. I'm getting sleepy. I'm getting old. Shit, I'm on bed by 10 every night if I can help it. The cheapest to get, yeah. It's like, hey, this is what our army's gonna be. Let's get the cheapest fucking thing possible. But well, Justin, thanks for swinging by, man. Nerd, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, if you guys didn't hear it earlier, swing by Colts and look up Nerd's Nerd. He has all sorts of badass 3D 3D printing STL files for World War II and World War II. So definitely go check his stuff for free, by the way. So give him a big thanks, in his comments or something for helping everybody out. 9 Carl Klink. Fuck. Who's Carl Klink? Corporal Klink or Colonel Klink? I don't know who Carl Klink is. Is he one? Corporal Klink or Colonel Klink? I don't know who Carl Klink is. Is he one of the royals that was kind of, I don't fucking know. But yeah, Justin, I need to sit in one of your live chats sometime, dude. I think you have a live chat. If you do, shoot me a message on Facebook sometime when you're gonna have it. If I'm around, I'd like to sit in and see what the hell you guys bitch about on your channel. Colonel Clank. Okay, yeah. I want to get, so I think Great Escape Games does a Colonel Clank and Schultz mini, and I think they do Hogan too. I'd like to get those, and maybe I know that somebody does like a POW camp MDF set. I'd love to do like some weird war like Hogan's Heroes games. That'd be fucking fun. That'd be a lot of fun. It'd be more like a role play. It wouldn't be like them shooting each other up. It'd be like rolling like, skill checks and like, them trying to like convince, Schultz to look the other way or some shit. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, speech to text is all kinds of fun. Yeah, I've been on a Hunger Show. Yeah, it's like that. That's cool. His stuff pops. I just seem to, if I'm on it, it's just because I just happen to be online at the time. It's funny because I forget about it, and I'm just on it. Hey, they're on. I jump on and see what's going down. But yeah. Also, you guys, go swing by Bo Paints. Bo Paints. He also talks about role playing and shit. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna call it a night. I've been gabbing for an hour and a half, longer than an hour. Man, I'm sorry I put you guys through all that shit. Yeah, charisma and shit like that. Just like it'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Hogan's Heroes game. That'd be a cool like con game. Like you have a big like prisoner of war camp, and like there's some hot like French resistance girl in the camp. You got to break her out of the camp or something. That'd be cool. All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for swinging by, and whatever you do, keep it weird. All right, Justin, take it easy, brother. Nerd, have a good one, man. Bo, good to see you. Enjoy them tacos.